hospital, and we're hiring experienced nurses to join our great team. Learn more by clicking on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM. Welcome into the WTIM Morning Show. Leroy Clamola here with you. Hope you're doing all right this morning as we get kicking into gear here on our morning show. Our live stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. And joining us this morning is Jim Baker with the Christian County Sheriff's Office. And always good to have you on the show this morning. Talk to us about some of the great stuff that's going on in the county. And we talked to Linda Allen, who was just here a little bit ago, and about some of the stuff that they have going on. There's always something different every day for them. I would imagine for you guys, every day is a little bit different as well, as far as what you guys have going on.
Yeah, thanks, Leroy. Thanks for having me. As you guys posted there on Taylorville Daily News, some of the, I guess you would call it exciting or progress forward for us is that the county board, we've worked pretty extensive with the county board to try and get some allocations funds for some much needed renovations there at the sheriff's office. And on Tuesday night's meeting, they did approve a pretty extensive, I think it was $2.1 million to renovate the current facility. Some of those, are structural renovations, and others are just updated items to improve the operations of the jail.
Yeah, and while obviously nothing is set in stone yet, it's got to feel good from your guys' perspective to finally start making some progress on this. I know this has been something you guys have been really wanting for a while, and it's got to feel nice to have those first check marks taken care of to actually move towards that general vicinity.
Yeah, sometime back. I mean, I think I don't have the specific dates, but on the last one of the previous elections, they had tried to get a referendum for a new jail. If you think about it, our jail was built, I believe, in 1975, and it was built to hold 20 inmates. Since then, they've doubled bunked things. They've put, obviously the population of arrest, there's a lot more arrestable offenses on the books now. So your population increases. So there's things like that have been done, that things like fire suppression, basically the overall needs of the jail have outgrown with technology. You've got things. I had the conversation that if you have electrical outlets in 1975, there's a lot more electrical needs inside the building now than what we needed in 75, just no different than your home and stuff like that. So those are the things that we're going to be able to address and improve upon.
Well, and I lived in England for a while, and all the houses that we looked at, every room only had like one electrical outlet in the entire room. And so like in the kitchen, you had like one, in the living room, you had one. And I was like, man, I don't know how they do it over here, but it's because the houses were built, a ways back. And that's how it was set up. I would imagine it's something very similar where you can look at it now and say, okay, look, this is how we really need to have it set up. Plus, I would imagine that technology has improved dramatically to make things not only safer for the jail, but also safer for you guys in the way that you guys operate and the way that you maintain things to make sure that things are taken care of and stay safe.
Yeah. So like I said before, some of the money that, aside from structurally stuff, then we'll start focusing on, once we get outside of the much needed, roof, plumbing, electrical needs that we've outgrown, then we'll start looking into things like, you mentioned technology. The inmates have the opportunity to use the tablets to access the law library, the chirps for texting outside of the facility. Those types of things require more electrical. There again, technology. Then we start focusing on things like the technology that we're looking to upgrade to would be a wristband like you use at the hospital, that will allow us to monitor movements within the jail, scanning codes for things like their medication. There again, technology and protection and tracking records of medication, things like that. So that's going to be a big help as well.
That's really, really cool to be able to see what everything's going on at all times. That's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, you used to go from making rounds, sticking your head in, doing a head count,
Yeah.
to where now we'll be able to actually scan and do a scan that those wristbands are within that confinement area, and then if you move one, it will be able to track it. So yeah, that's technology
awesome.
and moving forward. So
That is
that's we're
awesome.
excited to get to that point.
Yeah. So many great things going on. And again, as I said a little bit earlier, probably a big sigh of relief for you guys that while it's not completely set in stone yet, to be at least moving in the right direction.
Yeah. The allocation of those funds. And like I said, there's been a lot of man hours. This started over a year ago. The sheriff had requested some outside influence, members of the community to come in, and they put together the JAG, which was the Jail Advisory Group. Obviously, the advisement would be to build a new facility, but if you don't have that, then what can we do to improve the current facility? And that's where we landed. And fortunately, the county did a great job with some ARPA funds, and the county board members seen the issues that we had. We worked together for quite a long time. I believe we kicked that off since about January, trying to come up with what's the best plan to spend those funds.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So we talk about the ARPA funds and the allocations for that. Planting season is wrapping up. Obviously, you want to have people stay safe in their cars when they're dealing with farm vehicles and things like that as well.
Yeah. So you pointed out, like I said, it is, I know the sheriff, a lot of this is just more than hey, you hear it, it's a reminder. But, soon it'll be unmarked intersections. I just done a presentation to the South Fork and the Morrisonville school districts for their driver's education. And one of the big things was, that soon we'll be dealing with unmarked intersections, obstructed by corn. We like to remind people of that, so that's a big thing. And then, like you said, the farm implements on the roadway is wrapping up. But as soon as the farm implements are off the road, that's when you start encountering obstructed intersections throughout the county that I remind people all the time. Just because you got the right of way, yielding to the right, you want to make sure that those other people are yielding, and best practices slow down or come to a complete stop before you proceed through on them obstructed intersections.
We've covered more than I know. We have covered more than our fair share of those kind of situations. I would imagine
tragedies out of that.
Yeah, definitely. So one of those things where we both kind of work together on those kind of things, and not necessarily in a good way, to be honest with you, but always important to make sure take an extra 30 seconds to make sure you check those intersections before you go through.
Absolutely.
All right, Jim, what's some other stuff that you guys have going on?
Yeah. So just like with, I've said before, the sheriff has mentioned in his previous radio talk shows that's imperative that you lock your vehicles. In the overnight hours of Tuesday, the 16th, the sheriff's office responded up to the Stonington area. We have seen a rash of thefts come from, Springfield down to this area to start breaking in. We live in a rural area, not as high as crime rate, but then that's the areas that they're going to take advantage of when somebody decides to go out on a spree of burglaries and thefts. And that's exactly what happened in Stonington. We had a vehicle that we found out had been stolen in Illiopolis, made its way to Stonington. Once they were in Stonington, the sheriff's office worked with the Stonington Police Department as well as Blue Mound. They had over 6 vehicles stolen within the village of Stonington. All but one were recovered somewhere else in Stonington. That's not counting the total numbers of vehicles that was ransacked. Several wallets, personal identification, things of that stuff was taken, and it all could have been averted if they would have just simply locked their vehicle. These new vehicles, people get in a bad habit of, it used to be that you lock your keys in your car. Now they leave the key fob sitting in the center console, and it's a push of a button and somebody's got your vehicle. It's imperative that these, that the citizens lock their vehicles, don't leave any personal belongings in view, or in the vehicle, period. So that was a major time invested effort to recover those vehicles. And we worked with several agencies, and that's circled us back to remind people, make sure you lock your vehicles, don't leave the keys in it, and sure don't leave anything of value out there, because it is a small, safe, community, Christian County as a whole. But like I said, I say we're just catching up with the rest of the world when it comes to thefts, break-ins, and crime. So just wanted to make sure that people are aware to lock their vehicles.
Yeah, it seems like such a simple thing, but because it's such a simple thing, I think and I have my key fob. Like you can absolutely leave it right there and not think too much of it. Oh, you're just running in for 30 seconds, or you're just doing that. But it only takes 5 seconds to get into a car and grab it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's really convenient to leave the keys there, to be able to move it, to go out, but I tell you, if you like that vehicle, and most of us really rely on the vehicle, walk out tomorrow and imagine it's not there. Yeah. There were 6 people in Stonington that went through that exact same thing. They could have. I'm sure they will not be leaving the keys in the vehicle after that.
So at least you're able to recover most of them.
Yes. Yeah. They were recovered. Like I said, one of them had made it from as far as from Stonington to Blue Mountain, and then they just leapfrogged to the next one. But they've got some leads, and they're tracking some stuff down. And like I said, we've had thefts that have resulted in people from Decatur, from Sangamon County as well. It's not to say that somebody local won't steal your vehicle too. It's just, be cognizant of the idea that people are going to come and take advantage of those, in those neighboring counties, and you could easily fall victim to it if you don't take the precautions.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more with Deputy Baker about some of the great stuff that they have going on at the Christian County Sheriff's Office. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
You can learn about several fun events at the Kimmer Village Facebook page and on our website. This is Shawless Nagel, Executive Director with Kimmer Village. You can register your team of 4 for our 30th annual golf tournament on September 8th at kimmervillage.org/golf. And you can learn about our Eclipse event April 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2024 at campcrew.org.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, are proud to continue their long-standing sponsorship of honoring Taylorville High School Students of the Month on WTIM's many platforms on AM, FM, and streamed online, and on WMKR Genuine Country 94.3.
Hello, my name is James Brents, and I am Junior Student of the Month for Taylorville High School, and my parents are Mike and Angela Brents. My hobbies are doing outdoor activities, studying history, and working on cars. My favorite subject is history, and I plan to be a lawyer in the future. I'd like to go to Missouri to study.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, salutes these great Taylorville High School students on this honor and wish them the best in their future. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Prevent early nursing home placement by renting one of the catered care suites at Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, 705 South Houston. You'll enjoy home-cooked meals, laundry service, and use their therapy gym. If you like it, they have 1- and 2-bedroom apartments available for longer-term stays. Find out more on their catered care suites move-in specials from Administrator Tony Clark, with immediate placement available. Stop by or call at 824-2222. That's 824-2222. Taylorville Estates, encouraging independence, enriching lives.
Jim Stepp, owner of Central Illinois Asphalt in Taylorville, has over 40 years in the asphalt paving business. He's still at it today. Jim says, don't trust fly-by-night pavers claiming they've got extra asphalt, then play gotcha. Jim can do that asphalt repair and sealing and make your driveway or parking lot dust-free with recycled asphalt and environmentally friendly sealer that doesn't contain coal tar or other harmful things to your health. Click the Central Illinois Asphalt icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com to get Jim's contact information. He's your local paver with over 40 years experience.
Far and away in 2022, Craig's Realtors yet again is the market leader. Owner Steve Craig's here. If you're looking to sell, we can help. Click on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Find out about all the products and services offered by Dan Rizzo, your American Family Insurance agent in Taylorville, by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
And welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. My name is Leroy Clamola. Joining me is Chief Deputy Jim Baker, talking to us a little bit about some of the great stuff that's going on with the Christian County Sheriff's Office and the city that never sleeps. No, I'm just kidding, but they do stay really, really busy. So it's always nice to catch up with you guys on some of the hard work that you guys are doing. One of the big events coming up, obviously, right now, W. Baker, is graduation. Graduation is right behind the corner, or right around the corner. I think it's this weekend. I think is graduation. What safety tips and what kind of things would you like graduates and maybe families of graduates to know coming up here?
Sure. So with graduation, like I had said previously, I had the opportunity to wrap up the last driver's ed class, and I know that when you start seeing those kids in that last semester, and doing a presentation, I think it's like a long vacation trip. They are, some of them can be tuned out. They're just ready to get it over with and move on to the next stage in their life, and like I say, it's important, for the parents, obviously, to be involved and pay attention to what the kids are doing. Graduation parties, we just crested the prom season. Thankfully, we got through that with all the kids being safe. I think there's a really strong mindset for the parents to be involved with, keeping the kids safe for after prom parties. It would basically mock the same thing for graduation. That these young kids are going to get out, move on, be working jobs in the summertime, and out running around on the weekends. And I think just for the parents and the kids to basically have an open line of communication when it comes to those kids finding themselves in a graduation party that they're not comfortable with driving. If peer pressure gets to them to where they don't like the environment, they definitely want to have that, the communication line between the parent and the graduate to be able to make that phone call and say, hey, peer pressure's got to me, or I don't feel comfortable here and I want to go ahead and catch a ride home or something to that effect. So like I explained to the young kids the other day, sometimes it's the company that you run with that you can't control. And the graduate needs to know that if they find herself in that the parent's more than willing to help out and come remove them from that environment, stuff like that. Other than that, the graduates are going to get out. It's going to be a busy season. And I told the driver's ed class the other day, there's no text in the world that's worth, trying to respond to while you're driving. That's the only other thing that if the parents out there listening, that's one thing that they need to remind them. I said, you can't throw a ball and catch it and bounce the other ball in the other hand. None of us can pay attention. So to pay attention, by that, I mean doing two things at once and giving 100% attention. So that's distracted driving, things of that nature. Those kids are going to be out summertime, and it's like the wheels are off the bus and it's full throttle. So we just hope that they have a safe summer and get out there and enjoy their summertime jobs before they move on to their next step in life.
Plus, it makes more work for you guys.
Yeah, it can. Yep.
All right, Deputy Baker. We got about a minute and a half left. Any other things that you have going on right now?
Sure. I've spent several of the past months working with a company. There'll be a up and coming reveal at the sheriff's office on their Facebook. We're hoping to basically promote and market a sheriff's app that's in the near future. That's going to be interactive. It's going to give you, you'll be able to sign up for notifications for public safety, as well as just informational. That the biggest key is, you'll be able to get real-time and up-to-date information, whether it's a road closure, weather-related, things of that nature. And that's going to be posted on the coming soon. You will start out with it being on our Facebook. They can get a real good picture view of what it's going to look like. And then I'm sure by the time we have our next radio show, maybe we'll be able to have more information out there about where they can go to get the QR code and stuff like that. But it's packed with so much information that a minute's pretty tough to talk about on what's coming. But I'm really going to encourage the listeners that when that goes available to them, that I would strongly encourage them to reach out. And if anybody's got any questions on when that thing, gets promoted or marketed, we've always have an open line of communication there whether it be for an email. Our emails are posted on our Facebook page, the website. They can go to the ChristianCountySheriffs.com website, or call the office. Obviously, for an emergency, they'll want to call 911, but we also have our communication line of the sheriff's office at 824-4961. They can reach out to myself or the sheriff or whatever we can help you out with, and we'll be glad to get you online with that new app or answer any of your questions.
I'm looking forward to it. It sounds awesome. All right, Debbie Baker, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us about some of the great stuff going on in the county.
Thank you for having me.
More of the WTIM Morning Show coming up right after this.
Your information station, WTIM.
With SRN News,